Hey, my name is Sucky, and a friendly and grim reminder to everyone, Team Fortress 2, as of this video, is a decade old. Oh dear, where has the time gone? Now I'm pretty sure that the most of you watching this video wouldn't need any introduction to this character, but for the peachy few, Soldier, aka Jane Doe, is a grungy, patriotic, fantasy war veteran, and for the lack of a better expression, he has a head that's an eternal nap. At one point he'll be talking with severed heads, and another he'll be putting his entire team in jeopardy by incidentally creating the spawn of Satan. But let's put all those aside because the figure depicted here is pretty swell. The painting and the sculpting of this figure is great. This being the blue version means you get a vibrant, near cyan blue paint job for the coat. The class symbol is painted in clearly, and even small details aren't left unattended, such as the face as you can see here. But with that said, the painting can look pretty sloppy at certain places. And speaking of sloppy, the removable hands have their pegs painted as well, which results in them becoming too tight and useless. And on the topic of removable hands, he comes with a fair wealth of accessories. Now these grenades may seem like accessories, but they seem a bit too bland to be considered as such. So just grab some super glue and plop it back in. In addition to his fists, you get a pair of grabby hands and a gun holster hand meant for his rocket launcher. They're actually separate pieces, but I couldn't be bothered to remove him, and you'll know why in just a bit. You get his iconic melee shovel, which fits nicely into his grabby hands. And as you can see, it took a little bit more force to really shove it in there, and now you know why the accessories are somewhat frustrating to handle if you have the game installed. Because why wouldn't you? There's this included card, which at the back of it has a code that gives you this. How riveting. But it don't matter because here's the main treat you're looking for. Ball joint at the head, can look up a bit and down a bit. Ball joint at the shoulder, arm moves out, bicep swivel, bend at the elbow swivel, up and down at the wrist, a huge hinge joint at the chest which allows him to arc back and crunch forward. Pulling up his rubber flaps reveals a big ball joint, which allows him to kick forward, can move back that far, and you gotta make both legs kick forward and split them to simulate a spread, bend at the knee, boot swivel, up and down at the ankle, and a toe bend. Posability is pretty decent, but it's where these Neca figures are at their weakest. And since there's no included stand, this outright eliminates any possibilities for a rocket jump pose. He also has a hard time staying stood up because of the uneven weight distribution, and yeah, there he goes. In terms of his size though, he's slightly bigger than normal Neca size. Here's Figma Kanseki Ranko, Neca 94 Godzilla, Neca GMK Godzilla, Tokisaki Kurumi, and the Neca TF2 Engineer. For an action figure, it isn't as versatile as I'd hope for it to be, but with it sitting at that price point as well as all the things that you get, I say it's pretty solid. And overall, this figure's great. Aha! For what is essentially the only existing posable figures for the game, the affordable Neca TF2 action figures are not a bad pick. Well, this about wraps up this figure review. I'll be sure to see you guys soon in the wait, what's that?